My feet so fat I can't get into my roller skates. And my neck and chest don't fit anymore. Look at this. It's a stick up. It don't work. I do this at a bank robbery. I look like a fool.
Hey, what's up, pups? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's a podcast that talks about pop culture. We take a look at what's happening in the news in the old pop culture field, and we just give our 2 cents worth amongst many others. We look at the good, the bad, the ugly, and hopefully, get some laughs out of it. Maybe get some encouragement to rekindle that dying flame that is nostalgia, because heaven forbid it's not happening nowadays with all the DEI woke bullshit being fisted in there. But our goal is hopefully to remove the weeds, bring it back, and just be entertained for entertainment's sake. Right now we are live on YouTube, Rumble, X, my locals, and we are trying out the platform that I've been kind of seeing across X, Party. Now, according to this, it says I'm live, but I know it takes a while for it to update. Just want to make sure that I can actually see it. I've also been kind of experimenting with, as much as I don't want to go to StreamYards, I'd like to at least have the pin feature that you can actually read stuff. Why is... It said it was live. Let's see here. View all. Well, hopefully you guys have a good Monday. I didn't know if I was going to do a show today. Okay, yeah, it's right there. It says I'm live. Right down there. Or it's at least showing my show here. It's one thing about this. It took a little bit while before. But anyway. Hopefully it'll work out, but we're live over there. So if you enjoy the show, make sure to smash the subscribe button, punch the thumbs up, ring the bell to get notified when I go live. That's usually on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I try to do a Power Up podcast show. I might switch it, maybe reverse it to Tuesdays and Thursdays and do more gaming, but I definitely want to try to do more content because I really need to start pumping that stuff out. But like I said, I've been trying to experiment with trying to use OBS through StreamYard, which I can work, but then it's just a matter of Rumble. You can do all this for free, This says watch now, and it's not showing up. And I'd have to back out of... That's so dumb. So I updated everything. But we have some articles here. One of the big things that I'm seeing online is that old Dr. Disrespect apparently got signed on Rumble, which I'm kind of indifferent about it. I know it's going to bring in a lot of traction over on Rumble, but I really would like a site that generally helps the smaller content creators that are trying to grow and stuff. Just seeing contracts being given to people who are well established. It's like, don't say that you're rooting for the underdog or supporting the underdog, and then when you could literally give someone a Rocky Balboa chance, you choose not to. Which, of course, would lead to a Clubber Lang mentality, I guess you could say, in terms of, where's my shot and stuff. But, I mean, that's part of the online sort of scenario. Dude, I saw it go live. Okay, well, I don't know why. This says, I don't know why frickin' Party's being weird. We got it working when I was gaming, but now it's not working. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and let's hop into what we've got talk about here, our articles. First one coming in from Fandom Pulse. So Elon Musk reacts to Xbox's upcoming Avowed featuring pronouns, apparently saying it's utterly unacceptable. Now, I don't know what Avowed is, but hopefully this article will I was going to say subscribe, which you should do, but describe it. Elon Musk shared his thoughts about Xbox and Obsidian Entertainment's upcoming first-person fantasy RPG Avowed, featuring pronouns describing it as utterly unacceptable. It was revealed that developer Obsidian Entertainment, known for Fallout New Vegas, The Outer Worlds, and Pillars of Eternity, will include pronouns after YouTuber Force Gaming shared an early review of the game. While discussing the leveling system, he showed off some of the game's menus, where it clearly identifies his character with he/him pronouns. So right there. So Grums reacted to the pronouns being included in the game, and Fandom Pulse's initial covering, writing on X, "I'm drawing a line. I'm rejecting any game that has pronouns in it, and you grammar Nazis know what I mean. Stop being stupid." He explained, "I don't care if a game is good. A message must be sent. Pronouns promote the woke mind virus, and gamers must send a clear message." I do agree, because we all know when we, because that's the argument that they try to counter with, is like, why are you getting so upset? It's, there's always been pronouns. It's like, yes, but it's always been based on reality, man and woman. That's it. We know we know the tricks that you guys are playing. Like, we know the script. Okay. Like, you guys have made it, you guys proudly show off the script to people and then think people will like fall for it and stuff like that. We know it's been hijacked. We know pronouns have been hijacked. It's been politicized. It's been weaponized to mean what it has been established long, long ago. Man and woman. That's it. So apparently Musk responded to Grums's post, writing on X, "Having pronouns in a fantasy video game is utterly unacceptable." Musk's comments are not surprising. Back in September, he reacted to Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii, accusing American regulation of forcing him and his team to remove male and female and replace it with a Type A, Type B in Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. What if they just said no? Like, they say regulations is like, okay. Like, I feel like they could go to someone else. Like, just say no, and then just do it. Because fuck them. I'm just waiting. There we go. Now Party's showing that we're live. Oh my gosh, that took forever. That was such a delay. The question is, oh wow, it just now started. It warns you to wait like 30 seconds, but like, we've been in here for 10 minutes and it just now loaded. Well, but that's all right. We are there anyway. Give us a like, give us a follow. So he infamously said, in Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between a male and female main character, but now you can't choose between a man and a woman anymore. We have to label them as Type 1 and Type 2, he added. I really wonder who's even complaining about this. The activists and tourists are the ones complaining about this, because gamers don't give a crap. And I've even explained this before too. If their whole thing is that if they're a man thinking that they're a woman, wouldn't the end all be all is to be a woman? That like you 100% like down to DMA chromosome level, you are a woman. And if that's the case, you literally just pick the woman protagonist. It's like they purposely want it to be known that you're like have a mental disorder. It's like, it's the weirdest thing, because on one hand, they're saying we just want to be accepted in society and we just want to be seen, treated with respect and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, you believe your ultimate end goal is to be a woman. like down to everything, DNA, physical appearance, XYZ. So that option is already available, and it's been there the whole time. You just pick the female character or male character, but they don't want that. They want to let you know that they want to have the pretend options, which doesn't make any sense, because if you're saying that you want to be seen like this throughout, but then are going around demanding in video games to have, transgender, like, boob removal scars and all that stuff, or, and all that stuff, then you want people to know that you're transitioning, which defeats the whole purpose. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Well, it actually does make sense. It's sin is what it is. It's a corruption of sin, sadly. So as you can see, Musk responded, "This is insane." In October, Musk explained why he opposes DEI and the woke mind virus infecting the video game industry. He was asked during a town hall, "With recent flops like Concord and Dustborn, games are prioritizing pronouns and things like that, stuff instead of actual gameplay. So I was wondering, have you ever thought about making your own gaming studio and make an impact on the industry? That'd be awesome." He initially described the inclusion of pronouns as annoying, and then shared that he would be interested in making a video game company. He then stated, "Just generally for content, the problem with sort of the DEI woke mind virus is that it kills the art. When you see something that is forcibly imposed on the story and it's discordant, it destroys the art. And now it's hard to enjoy the story. It kicks you out of the story because you can just feel you're being lectured." Yep, it's always the case. Always being lectured in some way, shape, and form. It's garbage. So Musk's comment are similar to those espoused by the Lord of the Rings novelist J.R. Tolkien on his On Fairy Stories. Tolkien detailed that a story maker is proven a successful sub-creator when he makes a secondary world which your mind can enter. Inside it, what he relates is true. It accords with the laws of the world, and you therefore believe it while you are, as it were, inside. However, he added, the moment disbelief arises, the spell is broken, the magic, or rather the art, has failed. You are then out in the primary world again, looking at the little abortive secondary world from the outside. And that's what people have been saying all along to all these like weirdos and activists and stuff like that. Just make your own game. And they did. Dustborn and Concord. And it failed because that shit doesn't sell. That's why they have to bastardize already established franchises. And that's why, Kuckerman with The Last of Us Part 2, that's why he sacrificed his game to the woke ideology. And yeah, it did good in the beginning, but the amount of returns shows that no one cared about it, Same with Dragon Age Veilguard. Like, this shit does not sell. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to find a way where they can insert as much DEI and woke bullshit as possible, but hide behind success of not that, but of other things, and then claim that DEI, the game was DEI. Prime example, Baldur's Gate 3. But that's just a bunch of debauchery that they're all praising about, which, Baldur's Gate 3 was a really good story, and you can kind of avoid all that stuff if you wanted to. Now, it didn't have the charm of the original Baldur's Gate games, because the original Baldur's Gate games, you had relationships and stuff like that, but you didn't need to see any of it. It was told through the story, through text, through dialogue. What do you make of Musk's comment about pronouns in Avowed? Become a paid member to support our journalism and leave a comment. Well, maybe, but not right now. He's right. Having pronouns in a fantasy video game is utterly acceptable. We honestly just need to go back. Yeah, you got to have the pronouns in there, obviously, when characters are talking with each other and in the text and stuff. But yeah, like this sort of stuff, it doesn't need to stand out. Just get rid of it. Male, female, that's it. Case closed. And then the people who are complaining will be the activists and tourists, and they're a small, fringed group that you just laugh at and point at and then move on. I found this at that Park Place. Disney reportedly sours on Dana Walden as CEO in fear of Trump blowback. So this caught my eye because I was like, oh, interesting. Like, why? Why are they terrified? So let's find out. Funny, I have another can open because I forgot I opened up another one. So I just have like two Dr. Pepper's cream soda. Actually, quite good. So the race of Disney CEO got a lot more complicated with Donald Trump's election victory over Kamala Harris. Former Disney CEO frontrunner Dana Walden is now viewed by many as a great risk that might exacerbate an already tense relationship between Disney and the incoming president. So he'll become the 47th president on January 20th. It's believed that sometime before the end of 2025, Disney will name the successor to CEO Bob Iger. The search, spearheaded by former Morgan Stanley chairman James Gorman, has reportedly been eyeing a number of internal candidates to fill the role. These include Dana Walden, Alan Bergman, ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro, Disney's Parks Experience and Production heads Josh D'Amaro. However, according to Newsweek, Trump's victory could make Walden a liability. Gerp. Oh, and that's going to fail too. That garbage. Snow White, live action. Disney has a major problem on its hands in reaching conservative families. The company has been unabashedly left-wing in recent years, despite Bob Iger's insistence that Disney has nothing to do with politics, doesn't express political views. Well, that's just a straight-up lie. Do I have like a bullshit thing? I do not. I need to find something.
Gay.
That'll work. Yeah, that's gay. And a lie. So Walt Disney Company has embraced so-called woke ideology, making sweeping changes to classic elements of its films and theme parks in the name of political correctness. Here are just a few of Disney's actions from the last few years that caused conservative families to sour on the once beloved studio. Race-swapping popular characters like Ariel and the Little Mermaid and Snow White for live-action remakes. I know, the Ginger's getting replaced. Like, we're the most oppressed people out there. Our role is being taken away from us. Casting a biological man to play the evil queen for a Snow White dinner package. Firing and publicly condemning Star Wars actress Gina Carano after she shared a meme on social media commenting on how conservatives are treated in the U.S. Offering no comment or condemnation when Snow White actress Rachel Zegler wished harm or misfortune on Trump and his supporters. Voicing opposition to the Florida Parental Rights and Education Bill, which made a major enemy of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and lost Disney their Reedy Creek Special Governing District. Limiting classic attractions like Tom Sawyer Island that focus on American history. Allowing daytime talk show The View to launch into daily diatribes against Trump and the Republican Party, and replacing Splash Mountain with Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Walt Disney World and Disneyland due to perceived problematic elements. But perhaps the single largest impediment to an America is, I think that's supposed to be an American, to an America where President Trump and Disney can. Oh, I see. Apparently I can't read. And Disney can coexist peacefully came from the first debate between Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, which aired on Disney-owned ABC. The moderators were openly hostile to the former president and fact-checked him all evening while giving no such treatment to his opponent. Thought it was terrible from the standpoint of ABC. They are the most dishonest, in my opinion, the most dishonest news organization. Trump also said that the Disney-owned ABC has lost a lot of credibility, claiming the network took a big hit and should be embarrassed. He also noted a belief that network should lose its broadcasting license. Ouch. I mean, I think a lot of the dying legacy media should lose their license because they're all a bunch of liars. He also noted a belief that the network should lose. Oh, I already read that. It's not something a news network wants to hear from the incoming president of the United States. And of course, the head of the network, as Trump was quick to point out, is Dana Walden. Womp womp. The co-chair of Disney Entertainment is very close friends with Harris, which Trump pounced on after the debate. He described Walden as Harris's best friend, alluding to a major conflict of interest. The Walden family has a long history with Kamala Harris, with the vice president noting that Dana and her husband, Matt Walden, were in many ways responsible for her marriage to Doug Emhoff. The Waldens also held a major Democratic Party fundraiser at their home in 2022. Newsweek now believes that Walden's association with Harris could make the company even more of a target in Trump's eyes. Those red beam laser eyes. So under Trump's presidency, the Florida situation could ramp up dramatically. Mike Fay, CEO and founder of Fay Communications, a national PR firm specializing in political campaigns, said in an interview with Newsweek, Disney straddles a precarious line between the expectations of its employees, the interest of its shareholders, and the kinds of political shenanigans. Hey, what's that place you like, Farva, with all the goofy shit on the wall? Oh, you mean shenanigans? Oh. The corporation might wish to stay out of it. It may not be possible for Disney to stay out of it too much longer because Trump is pushing local issues like Reedy Creek to the national level. Goes on to note how Dana Walden, as Disney CEO, could open the company up to retaliation from the new president. So friendship with Harris could make her a target in the new Trump administration. I would imagine that Disney's board will undoubtedly take this potential political friction into account when they are figuring out what to do with Iger's succession. Part of me thinks yes, but part of me thinks they're so retarded that they may not, which I think it'd be actually funny. I mean, I separate Walt Disney and Disney. You know, there was Walt Disney. That's all the good stuff that we had from the past. And then you got your Disney now, you know. There are reports from Disney insiders right now that state the company is trying to regulate its brand messaging to reach out to conservative families again. Oh, good luck with that. You pretty much like... You have people like Mark Hamill and all that stuff, part of the Star Wars community and all that stuff, pretty much villainize more than half the nation because that red wave came. So they can't say that Harris was that popular vote. Some say that the company might even go as far as to add pro-Trump conservative voices to shows like The View. Like have them on The View or have like a different show altogether. I think that'd be great. Like a different, call it like, I don't know. Man, I wish Norm Macdonald was alive. But yeah, I think that'd be hilarious if there was another show that went alongside The View. Disney will need to balance their brand values with the political climate if they're going to sustain stakeholder trust and keep their brand equity high. Fay said, maintaining a steady course aimed political charged discussion with the essentials to protect its image on both the national and global stage. And then they asked, do you think Dana Walden has a chance to become Disney CEO? I don't know. Maybe. Probably not, though, because that'd be foolish on their part because of that political friction. But again, I think it'd be funny if it did happen because I'd love to see that dumpster fire, just watching it from afar, just burning. So we had that there. So this caught my eye, as if you can't get enough of the overused voice actor Troy Baker. Apparently he's going to be appearing in Naughty Dog's next game, according to Video Game Chronicle here. And of course, it's with Naughty Dog. Last of Us and Uncharted actor Troy Baker is reuniting with Naughty Dog for a new game. He will reportedly appear in Naughty Dog's next game. The prolific voice actor, I mean, maybe to some, overused for sure, who starred as Joel in the Last of Us series and Sam Drake in the Uncharted franchise, is reuniting with Naughty Dog for the new title from studio head and creative director Neil Druckmann. While the role he'll play is unclear, and the game itself has yet to be announced, Baker's inclusion was confirmed in a new GQ profile of the actor. In a heartbeat, I would always work with Troy, Druckmann told the publication. He also described Baker as a, quote, demanding actor. And it's the same damn people over. Let's be real here. Let's be real. Like, aside from video games and maybe some anime or what have you, like, has he actually acted in anything? Troy Baker. Because that's all I know him. Yeah, you literally type Troy Baker in and, like, American voice actor underneath it. Now, granted, voice acting is acting, because I was an actor and I pursued acting, and I still like acting and stuff like that. But let's be real here. Like, if you're well known in the video game anime sphere, you're probably going to be more recognized in voice acting than an actual actor. Screen actor, I guess I should say. Yeah. Bunch of anime, bunch of animations, film. Here we go. Oh, they're just anime films. I'm not really seeing live action. Oh, wait, here we go. Live action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 5 live actions under his belt. Apparently, he was James in The Last of Us HBO series, The Phoenix Incident, which never heard of before. Shelf Life, he was just in an episode. The Imposter, where he was Jerome and also a producer. A Christian film. Is he even a Christian? Anyway. Adding, Troy's trying to stretch the limits of what this thing is, and often he succeeds at making it better than it was in my imagination. Did you ask him if he actually cared if Joel died when you shat all over everybody who liked Joel? Because woman power needed to be prevalent. Before Naughty Dog's next game is released, Baker's starring as the voice of Indy in December's Indiana Jones and the Great See, there you go. And he'll also appear in Judas, the next game for BioShock creator Ken Levine. Druckmann said in July that numerous games, including multiple single-player projects, were in development at Naughty Dog, but stressed that while they won't all be The Last of Us titles, they will all have a similar goal. The goal being the same actor being used over and over, probably, would be my guess. We create experiences that are steeped in story and character, especially relationships. Oh, yeah. Story and character. Well, kill off the white male character in Last of Us Part 2. Make sure to have a makeout scene in a weed bunker, and then make the normal sex scene between a man and a woman look unappealing. So, yeah, of course. He told the LA Times, the stories have some sort of philosophical core that everything is going to revolve around and feed into. It was recently claimed that Naughty Dog's next game will have a significant focus on player freedom. Boy, oh boy, I wonder what that means. So this was something that I found quite interesting, is that Mass Effect's trilogy director Casey Hudson's studio is shutting down. Humanoid Origin is closing due to a, quote, unexpected shortfall of funding. Humanoid Origin, the studio led by former BioWare general manager Casey Hudson, has announced it's shutting down. In a post on LinkedIn, the Canadian studio said it was closing because of funding issues. Earlier today, we informed our staff that Humanoid Origin will be shutting down, it said. Despite efforts to shield the studio from broader challenges in the industry, an unexpected shortfall of fundings left us unable to sustain operations. We're heartbroken that we will not be able to bring our new science fiction universe to completion. Our main concern at this time, however, is for our team, and we are committed to supporting them in their transition to new employment. In our time together, the team achieved incredible progress and demonstrated that it's possible to do amazing work while fostering a culture of fun and creativity. The statement continued. We thank them for their talent, courage, and friendship. Well, the first problem is you're in Canada. Get the hell out of there immediately. We all know what comes from Canada. Ubisoft. And not getting enough funding, probably which is interesting, because normally woke game companies should have more than enough funding, especially from the Canadian government. But the fact that it's closing is interesting. Not saying that's the reason why. So in our time together, the team achieved incredible progress and demonstrated that it's possible to do amazing work while fostering a culture of fun and creativity. The statement continued, we thank them for their talent, courage, and friendship. Thank you to everyone who supported us throughout our journey. Humanoid Origin was funded by Hudson and a team of game industry veterans in 2021. So, man, that thing only lasted 3 years. That sucks. Its first game was going to be a multi-platform AAA title focused on a character-driven narrative. So they don't even have a game under their belt, and it's already closing. That sucks. During almost 20 years at BioWare across 2 stints, Hudson directed and produced the original Mass Effect trilogy, which I still need to play, by the way. It's been on my backlog. And Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Again, I need to play that one as well. And he left the company for a second time in December of 2022. Well then, that's unfortunate. What's this? PS5's DualSense Edge and Pulse accessories are reportedly coming in black. Sony is expected to announce a new black version of the PS5 accessory soon. These include the DualSense Edge controller, the Pulse Elite wireless headphone, and Pulse Explorer wireless earbuds. Writing on Deal Labs, highly reliable data miner Bill Coon said they expected the black PS5 accessories to be announced before Christmas. To date, these accessories have only been available in white, excluding the limited edition 30th anniversary DualSense Edge controller. Man, I still need to get I have so many PS4 physical games that I'd rather just get a PS5 just so with the disc drive, just so I can kind of hang up the PS4 in terms of, playing certain games like Stellar Blade, but that's coming to PC soon. Funny enough, well, not funny enough, but my PS4 still has a PT on it. Got that sucker on there before you couldn't download it anymore. In fact, I got rid of it and then they shut it off, but I figured out a way to grab it back. So like the white versions, the black ones will reportedly be priced as follows. So controller, $200, wireless headphones, $150, and the wireless earbuds, $200. Dude, I'm not a big fan of wireless earbuds, but that's crazy that something like that's $200. Sony recently launched its Black Friday's 2024 deals. Running until December 2nd, they include savings on hardware, games, and subscription passes across the PlayStation Store, Direct, Gear, and participating retailers. Offers include $75 off PS5 consoles, $250 off of the PlayStation VR 2 bundle, and 30% off of PlayStation Plus subscriptions. Sony is developing a new portable console capable of playing PS5 games, it claims, and we will be reading that. Bloomberg reported on Monday that the company was in the early stages of creating the device, which is still years away from a potential release. The product is aimed at expanding Sony's reach and contending with Nintendo for the portable gaming market, according to people familiar with its development, the publication wrote. And we recently read rumor that supposedly Microsoft is trying to dabble with the old handheld. So, very intriguing. Players are finding hidden messages in the TVs in Silent Hill 2. I feel like we've read this because it's the one where it's like you've been here 2 decades, right? Well, it says 25th, so this is recent. Players are finding hidden messages in the TVs in Silent Hill 2. Television static in the game, hide secret Morse code messages. They have been discovering more hidden messages in the remake, this time in the televisions found throughout the game. And this contains spoilers. Well, the spoiler would be to play the original game first before you play the remake. Enjoy it for what it actually wanted it to be, for the most part. So, as noted by PC Gamer YouTube channel, Shiba has noticed that the TV sets in the game are hiding secret messages aimed at the protagonist, James. Each television in the game is simply showing static, but Shiba discovered that hidden in the static sound are a series of clicks which act like Morse code signals. So, for example, a message is playing on the TV in Brookhaven Hospital, transmitted in Morse code, he writes. The sound is mostly drowned out by the static from the TV, making it difficult to hear clearly. However, the Morse code is distinct, with a clicking noise that resembles a telegraph. The loud clicks mark the beginning of a signal, while the softer clicks signal its end. If we listen closely, we can decipher the following message. Shiba then reveals that the TV sets in the hospital cafeteria, the nurses' lounge, and the break room in Toluca prison all play the same message again and again and again and again, and repeated infinitely. Second message has also been found on a TV in the Woodside Apartments, the observation room of Brookhaven Hospital, and room 106 at Jack's Inn. Message reads, "Why did you do it, James?" A reference to the ending of the game, in which it's revealed that James killed his wife. Why is this a secret message? Because you literally find out about it like at the end of the game. And let's be real, people who've played the Silent Hill 2 remake have either already played it, or they've been living, with their heads in the sand and are like, oh, this seems like a cool game. To which, again, everyone should have played the original before they played the remake. This is funny because the Italian subtitles, like, straight up tells you, like, when you're listening to the radio in the beginning, that, that James killed his wife. Like, you hear Maria talking. Or Mary, excuse me. I always get Maria and Mary mixed up, even though they're technically, like, the same people. I don't know, like this, like just the secret message that just says, "Why did you do it, James?" That's not a hidden message. Like, to me, it should have been like additional stuff, like beyond the story. But I mean, people have dissected Silent Hill 2 left and right. The again and again and again and again message may relate to an infinite loop theory that has been surrounding the remake. Some players have theorized that the remake is part of a time loop in which James keeps revisiting Silent Hill over and over. This theory originated with the discovery of a secret message in the game's 26 collectible. I think he forgot a B in their video game chronicle, Polaroid photos. By collecting every photo and using the numerical clues on each one to solve the complex puzzle, players could spell out the message, "You've been here for 2 decades." Following the photo discovery, the game's creative director and lead designer, Mateusz Lenart, took to X to reveal that Blooper Team thought the puzzle was too difficult. I remember reading this. I knew it wouldn't stay hidden for very long. There's a theory in our company that the puzzle might be too hard, and really wanted to make it subtle when I was painting those photos. I think the timing could have been better for you to solve it. Congratulations. I mean, like, what exactly is the point to say you've been, like, it's an infinite loop? Like, what does that gain from doing that for Silent Hill 2? Like, in all seriousness. Because you have all the different endings in the original one. What is this, like some, I don't know. I was trying to think of something that, like, an infinite Groundhog's Day. There you go. All right. Let's get into that. Sony is planning a new PlayStation handheld. So it's claiming. Sony's new PSP is in early stages of development. So it's developing a new portable console capable of playing PlayStation 5 games, it's claimed. According to Bloomberg, Sony Interactive Entertainment is in the, quote, early stages of developing the device, which is still years away from a potential release. The product is aimed at expanding Sony's reach and contending with Nintendo for the portable gaming market, according to people familiar with its development, Bloomberg wrote. The concept could build on the recently launched PlayStation Portal, which is a portable console capable of streaming PS5 games via the cloud, but cannot natively play titles. Any such PlayStation Portable launch could also compete with Nintendo's upcoming Switch successor and plans from Microsoft to potentially launch a similar Xbox device. Hey, I said that we Xbox. So everyone's going back to the portable, trying to get in on that portable console. Yeah, this man. Remember when it was like your Game Boy, your Sega, Game Gear, your didn't Atari had like a handheld? In the near term, the Atari Lynx. In the near term, Xbox will focus on making its app work better. Oh, wait. I skipped one. Speaking to Bloomberg, Spencer said Microsoft is working on prototypes and considering what it might do. And he's asked its hardware team to analyze the market and develop its vision based on what it's learned. Any device is a few years out, he said. In the near term, Xbox will focus on making, Video Game Chronicle. Now you're just padding. We're not talking about... I'm here to read about Sony, not Microsoft. Xbox will focus on making its app work better on existing portable devices and partnering with hardware manufacturers to make sure the products sync, he added. There you go. Stalker 2 is getting its first post-release patch during the week to come. Baldur's Gate 3 has limited its console versions to 100 active mods. Makes me think of when I played Skyrim for the first times and I used like all the mods I could. But that sucks that they're limiting it. So the console version of Baldur's Gate 3 has received a new limit on the number of mods that can be used per save. While the PS5 and Xbox Series XX versions of the game have support for mods, Larian has noted that players with more than 100 mods active are experiencing slow loading times or even game crashes. To combat this, it's rolled out a new hotfix which will implement a limit of 100 mods for the console versions to prevent more issues from occurring. Now that there are more than 100 mods available to download on console, we need to have a serious chat, the developer wrote. Who plays with more than 100 mods in a single save, you might ask? Well, as it turns out, there's a handful of you. Unlike PC, consoles can only juggle so many files at once. The more mods you have installed, the quicker this file limit is reached. While we recommend only installing the mods you know you'll definitely continue playing with to maximize stability, we're introducing a 100 mod limit for console platforms. It also notes that if players already have more than 100 mods enabled on a console save, they won't be able to load it for the time being. Okay. Fuck you. You play on both PC and console using cross saves and have more than 100 mods enabled on a save, you may be able to disable the number of active mods from your PC so that you continue accessing your cross save on console, it advised. So players who have more than 100 console mods activated and don't have access to the PC version will instead have to wait because Larian is shipping another fix soon that will let them access console saves that have been disabled as a result of today's... Dude, why even send out this update that could potentially be like, oh, sorry, you can't play your story anymore until we send out another update. Oh my gosh. Dude, updates, man. So fucking gay. So annoying. Remember back in the day when you got a game and it was just ready to go? That's what needs to happen. I mean, those are like the articles that kind of caught my mind. No, I don't really care about that. But I do have some other ones here too that we can take a look at here. Wait, what? Jim Henson Company responds to Disney destroying the last of Jim Henson's legacy with Muppet Vision. What? Okay, I'm reading this. The Jim Henson Company has made an official statement in the wake of Disney announcing plans to destroy Muppet Vision 3D, the final work of company founder and Muppet creator Jim Henson. The studio founded by Henson, which continues to bring puppet creatures and creations to life today, gave a respectful and reflective look back on the work with an eye towards the future. The post was made on the company's official Instagram. His final project, that be Jim Henson, was Muppet Vision 3D, now regarded as a true theme park classic. The company, now owned and controlled by Jim's kids, said in the post, innovation was always Jim Henson's North Star, and his blazing career led him to a unique challenge, a truly immersive Muppet experience where audiences are part of the happy chaos of the iconic Muppet Show. Originally debuting in 1991, I feel like I've been here. I feel like I remember that I've been to the Muppet Vision 3D when we went there one time with my folks a long time ago. Combined 3D technology with real-world practical effects alongside animatronics and live Muppet characters. The result was a one-of-a-kind Jim Henson experience and an unforgettable capstone to Jim's magnificent career. As we learn of the show's upcoming closure in its current form at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we look forward to Muppet Vision's 3D's next act. Should be noted that while the Jim Henson Company still exists and still brings creation to life in the Henson Creature Shop, the studio hasn't owned the rights to the Muppets since the early 90s. Disney purchased the IP from Henson shortly before his untimely death in 1990. His final product was Muppet Vision 3D, a three-dimensional multi-sensory live showcase within the iconic Muppet Theater. Henson Company still owns the rights to Fraggle Rock and still creates characters for Sesame Street, despite selling the rights to Sesame Workshop in the early 2000s. Disney will close the Muppet Vision 3D sometime in the near future to make way for Monsters, Inc. land that absolutely no one asked for. Yeah, why? Bulldozing the legacy of one of the last true visionaries the world of entertainment ever had, will move the Muppets into a re-theme of rock and roller coaster. However, this won't feature the talent of Frank Oz, the late Richard Hunt, or Henson himself. Instead, we'll get the modern Muppets led by Matt Vogel as Kermit the Frog in a performance so bland and terrible that it has the potential to unite the world for the first time ever. Dude, what the fuck? Vogel replaced Jim Henson's chosen successor, Steve Whitmire, who was fired by Disney for sticking up for Jim Henson's legacy. Really? Dude. Fuck you, Disney. Bring back Walt Disney. Since then, Vogel has given performances so heinous that Disney has kept Kermit out of the limelight entirely, focusing instead on characters like Scooter, Gonzo's, and the Electric Mayhem. Is that like Animals band? I'm not super familiar with Muppets. I watched Muppet Babies, maybe a Muppet Christmas Carol, but that's like the extent of my Muppet knowledge. Unless counting Jim Henson when he helped with the 1990s Turtles movie, if I'm not mistaken, with the animatronics of the suits. This is, of course, the work of Disney's smarmy, smirking head of the parks and experience division, Josh D'Amaro. Oh, yeah, he's the one that's up for CEO, too. Well, fuck him. He shouldn't get it. Man who would pay Paradise to put up a parking lot with an artificial and expensively manufactured smile on his face. This guy? Yeah. Fans outcried to the death of this popular long-standing attraction was Fast and Furious. For Disney fans, Muppet 3D represents more than just Henson's final work. It's one of the final pieces of Disney's MGM Studios. Yeah, I remember going to MGM Studios. We saw the Toy Story parade. The park, first created by former Disney CEO Michael Eisner, during an era where Disney CEOs actually created new things instead of repurposing, purchasing, and destroying everything within reach. Disney CEO Bob Iger, alongside D'Amaro, have been working hard to destroy everything associated with Eisner's MGM studio over the last years. This includes tearing out the streets of America and the Osborne Christmas lights for Star Wars Galaxy Edge, a themed Star Wars land that doesn't feature anything from the original trilogy or prequels, turning the great movie ride into Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, injecting Star Wars sequels content into Star Tours, turning Walt Disney One Man's Dream into a character meet and greet location and preview center for upcoming films, ripping out the animation studios for the Star Wars launch bay, a museum and meet and greet location that has a large percentage of its space closed since opening. Oh my gosh, this just sounds terrible. Closing Disney Junior live on stage and Voyage of the Little Mermaid, leaving absolutely nothing of substance for anyone in the animation courtyard. Closed a wonderful shop Christmas, turning it into a seasonal meet and greet location for Santa Claus. Villains and Vogues, Villains themed store into a generic toy store that sells the same merchandise guests can find anywhere on the shop. Wow. Reading this is just making me more and more upset. Shuttering the Muppet store, which features sets and props from original Jim Henson production along with Muppet merchandises. Oh, wow, that sucks. Kermit the Frog hot air balloon away from Muppet Theater, painting over a mural of Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy on the side of the Muppet Theater, pulling all Muppet background music out of the Muppet courtyard in favor of generic Grand Avenue soundtrack. Ugh, this just sounds terrible. Muppet Vision estimated the last vestiges of MGM Studios remain the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, an attraction under constant threat of a re-theme reminiscent of the treatment in Disneyland. I wrote that one. And in the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, a show that sits in a large footprint that many feel is on borrowed time. I saw that too. What's interesting to note in the Jim Henson Company official statement, a Muppet Vision 3D is its last part. Yeah, that's caught my eye, the next act. So I mentioned in its official statement that it would be working to preserve the original film. Many took this to believe the company might reconstruct the attraction elsewhere in one of the many empty spaces across Disney's 4 theme parks. However, the more likely scenario based on historic precedents is that the company will simply rework the footage into a Disney Plus release of home viewing. Really, that's not enough. And then what do you think? I think Disney can go fist itself royally because they've screwed over so many people. They need to burn. Crash and burn. Let's try to end this on a more uplifting note, however. This caught my eye, this article. It's about 5 days old, but I just want to see what it holds. 10 great and terrible game accessories from a bygone era. Let's see what they list. This is in no particular order some of the best and worst accessories ever delivered to the greedy fingers of gamers like us. Ah, yes, the old Nest Zapper, where it originally used to be gray, but then they made it orange. Got the Power Glove. It's so bad. The old wizard. Oh, boy. I never had the Power Glove. I had the Zapper. Never had Rob either, but you got old Rob the robot with its only working robot operating buddy, which only worked with Stack Up and Gyromite. Game Boy camera. I had the Game Boy Color. But I never got the camera. But there you go. And then you get the printer. That was a doozy. They took a screenshot from James Rolfe. Cinemassacre. Oh gosh, I still have my Sega, but I never got the Sega CD. See, that looks pretty cool. That, ugh. Then all that wires at the end. Oh my gosh. Should have just made it its own thing. Japan was the first to receive the Mega CD, as it is known in the Eastern market, with a somewhat disappointing launch. Womp womp. The Sega CD 32X. Gosh. Game Genie. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Good old Game Genie. Lineup of Game Genie, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, NES, SNES, and Game Gear. Wow. For the old Game Gear. Donkey Kong Bongos. I feel... Well, we'll continue. I don't see why this would be on here. I just want to see what else they have. Guitar Hero, I do agree with that. I've been actually listening to the Guitar Hero stuff lately. I want to play Guitar Hero again. I loved Guitar Hero. Memory cards? I mean, that's just a staple. And then the old Super Game Boy. Very nice. And that was pretty much it. Why didn't they have, like... I mean, they had the Zapper, but what about the Menacer? Like one of those guns. Or like turbo controllers and stuff. There's a little blast from the past. I wasn't going to read the stuff here since we are actually winding down on the show. Like I said, we are on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Party. So if you're enjoying the show, give it a like, give it a follow, all that fun stuff. Let's end with this day in gaming. What games were released today? Let us find out. Fatal Fury, excellent game. Blood and Magic. I've heard of it, but I never played it. Killer Instincts 2. Heard of Bust Groove. Enemy Zero. I've heard of it. I've heard a lot of these, but I haven't played any of them. Dogs. Rygar, The Legendary Adventure. Gundam Seed Destiny. If you like Gundam. Mario Sports Mix. Persona Q, Tales from the Borderlands. Not gonna lie, not a whole lot of solid games today on November 25th. Let's see what Moby games. They spread out across the world. Let's see if something jumps out at us here. Ooh, here you go. Dragon Ball Z Goku His Showdown. The Game Boy version. Interested. Ooh, Lethal Enforcers 2 Gunfighters. I love me a good Western. That was the Sega CD version in Japan. RIP, but I like the game. Of course, you would rather just play the arcade, but I like it. I like Railgun. The Italian version of Tomb Raider Chronicles. Got a Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell in Russia. For Mother Russia. Ooh, Neverwinter Nights 2. Oh, it's the Russian version, but it's the 1X DVD edition. I need to play that too, because it's pretty much like Baldur's Gate, and I like my Baldur's Gate games. Rock Band. Speak. Yeah, not a whole lot of solid games on 25th of November, unfortunately. The Wii version in Russia of the Skyward Sword, Zelda. Uh-oh, now we're getting around 2016 and down where games, you just see it just go downhill. Got to bring these classic games back, you know. Not in retarded and bastardized remakes, but solid. And if you're going to do it like frickin' Shadow of the Colossus. That is always going to be my example. Alrighty, well, that's all I have for you guys tonight. So thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to sign off. But you guys have a good rest of your night. Anybody live? Eagle Mindset is on. We'll rate him. Alrighty. You guys have a good rest of your night. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care. God bless, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.